All right, so we're going to try something a little different here. I'm going to set this up on the tripod and just kind of get an overview. Figured last time I set it up, the last video I did, I just kind of talked through it and pointed at the unit, but I thought this time I would actually turn it on so you guys could see what's happening here. I don't know how much of this is going to come through, but so I've got another light down here on the floor. Yeah, that comes through okay. Perhaps I can turn this light off in the back. One sec. I have my my laptop is currently going through a 4K video that I shot. So this one, I hope it's not going to be too bad. I turned it down to just HD instead of 4K. So we'll see what that does. Okay, well, you're going to get some of my head, but I'm not the one that's important here. All right, so a lot of what I do here is mainly just 737 stuff. So I've got and you can sort of see what's blocking it. This is blocking it. Oh shoot. Anyway, my Stream Deck is right here, and that's not really super important. So I've got several things set up here, just shortcuts. But let me just go ahead and launch Auto FPS, which is going to come up on this screen over here behind me. You may not be able to see it, but here it is over here. I've got it pulled back on the far side. So I'll launch that first. I was using enhanced map enhancements, but I tried not doing it this time, and I'm just going with regular, just a default setup. So it launches over on my right hand screen because I don't want the center screen to be number one, because as you can see, the top of this is about 4 inches above the monitor that's behind it. I don't know if you can really tell that or not, but so what happens is, yeah, you can kind of see the monitor on this side on this side, it's a little lower. Yeah, there you go. Okay, good enough. So when it finally comes up, it comes up on this screen. Checklist. And the reason I did this, I wanted to give you guys an option to see how it's like booting up. All of my sound comes through my Corsair headsets, which I'm not really a fan. I'm going to put these on once I can hear what's going on. So I've got my Bravo throttle quadrant. I've got most of the switches and buttons that I need for the 737 are all programmed into a lot of switches I have on this hardware. Just making sure everything's off from the last flight that I did. It's off, that's off, that's off. Auto throttle is off, off, off. Okay, everything's pretty much where it needs to be. Because what I'll end up doing is launching SPAD.next and putting all of that. That'll enable a lot of my hardware, my autopilots, keypads, and additional hardware. So I'll give it just a second. It's not the fastest boot up of all. So let's turn this off since it's a little annoying. There we go. So this is the Brunner, which one is it? The XL1 or X1, something like that. Let's see. It's the first one they came out with after the NG. This one had the display on it. The new ones have a whole lot more in the display, but it's still a fantastic unit. And then the Brunner pedals down below. I don't use this throttle quadrant for a throttle quadrant, which you really can't see. I just use the hat switch for views. So what happens when you have a lot of different hardware, you don't really have the ability to map everything because you don't need everything. I didn't want that as a primary throttle. So my seat came out of a Chrysler 300. I got it at the scrapyard. So it's not all the components or the elements work, but it tilts back and tilts up, and lumbar support's there. Okay, come on, Microsoft, let's go, get up. Let's get up and running. I'm gonna try to edit some of this stuff eventually, but right now I don't know Premiere well enough to do all of that, and I find that bringing in these 4K videos, are real slow to preview in Premiere, so I need to look into some education on Premiere and how that works. If anybody's got any suggestions on an easier or better application to use for viewing MOVs off your phone or editing software, it's just a lot of information to process. So anyway, while it's booting up, I'll tell you what I got. This is the GTN 750 from Real Sim Gear, the G1000 PFD, the G1000 MFD, which is a 15-inch. This is 10-inch. This has all 12 soft keys on the bottom of the MFD, all 12 on the bottom of the PFD. All the keys, everything is functional if you're running G1000. The GMA 350, the GCU 700. Jeez, I get these numbers, all these acronyms mixed up. And then the alphanumeric keypad heading, all the buttons for the autopilot functionality in the Cirrus SR22. My latest addition is, again, something you can't see, which is a shame. It's probably one of the nicest pieces of kit that I have here. There we go, we'll show it to you like that. Is this Cockpit Masters CDU. I mean, it's full scale, it works awesome. So maybe that's a little bit better angle. But anyway, so I've got keyboard swings out of the way. It's on this old monitor stand. So one thing I found is no real easy way to get all the images that you want positioning your cameras. So let's just do something simple. We'll go to McCarran. Let's pick this up so you can see what's going on here. All right, so we're gonna go to McCarran. Okay, come on. Man, it's just, I found that it's really slow. Everything just takes forever to get up and running. Really looking forward to 2024 that they make some significant advances in the technology that's gonna just change this whole process. It seems like every update, things just bog down, get slower, and I don't know. Still better than X-Plane in my humble opinion. X-Plane is still, graphics just don't do it for me, and once you've had a taste of this, it's hard to go back. So, all right. And another anomaly that a lot of people have been talking about with 2020, since this is what 1.36.2.0, is the fact that the screen always opens up in windowed mode instead of full screen mode, which is what I have everything else set up on. So let's see what else we can talk about while Microsoft is taking its sweet old time to get loaded. So on the Stream Deck XL I have here is, I've got SPAD, I've got CL to Sim, which is what I use to launch my my software for my Brunner. I've got the Cockpit Bridge for the Cockpit Master CDU. I've got Better Bravo lights. I have to run that because for whatever reason it doesn't actuate when it just starts up. The lights don't come on the Bravo throttle. So, okay, what are we doing here, Microsoft? Oh, terrific. It just decided to crash on boot up. Jeez. That's another thing that happens from time to time. So this may end up being a long video, but you know what? You can just fast forward to the parts you don't care for. But welcome to a typical day in the life of home cockpits, trying to fly, and dealing with Microsoft. Okay, so in addition to the Better Bravo, then I've got a button to launch Microsoft. Also have add-on linker here, which I don't use too much because I've got what I need to run as far as scenery, and I don't fly anything else, so it's not like I have to load special things for GA aircraft or whatever. I just don't need to do all of that. I've got vPilot for VATSIM. I've got FSU IPC 7, which is what I need for my ACARS for Southwest Virtual. Got just Corsair stuff, iLink and so forth, but I think that's it. Let's see, did that run? Okay. I do have X-Plane 12 loaded on this machine, but just the first time I tried it, I had such horrible frame rates. And again, just as a refresher for you guys that didn't see the other video or didn't care to watch it, this PC has 32 gig of RAM. It's got a 5800X3D AMD processor, which is fantastic, and a 4090 MSI Supreme liquid cooled GPU. That's the primary GPU. Then I've got a Kingpin EVGA Kingpin 2080 Ti liquid cooled as a secondary. And why do I do that? Well, I've got the 3 main screens running off of the 4090. Then my utility screen down here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 extra screens. So I've got 7 screens in total. Don't need a screen for the or video input for the Cockpit Master CDU because it's got a screen built into it. Great value. This is going to be sold when I get my 737 stuff because it comes with 2 of these already. So I'll put this on the market. I bought this on eBay, brand new. Great deal on it, and I'm going to pass that great deal on to someone else when I sell it, because I've only used I definitely have used it more than the guy that I bought it from. He said he bought it, and I asked him, well, if you don't mind, why did you sell this thing if you just bought it? And he said lost interest. So hey, to each their own. Everybody's got their reasons. So, but great unit. It's just I've got 2 different ones that come in the Flight Simulator Center's 737. So I figured I'd just stick with the same thing. So what I'm going to do as soon as this thing gets booted up, hopefully it'll go this time, is I'm going to get us at Las Vegas. I'm going to show you how I pop out the screens using pop-out panel manager, and kind of fill you in on the rest. Let's see, what can you see? All right, I told you about these 2. I have a combat panel and a takeoff panel from WinWing, excuse me, that I use the switches for. I don't really use it for DCS. Haven't flown DCS in a couple years, but great hardware. All of that's, if someone's a DCS fan, this would be a good option for you. I also have the SATEC, whatever, their radio panel. I use that. That's the only one I use out of those 3 that come with their package. The other 2 I've got, I'll probably put them on the market as well. And then the Bravo throttle, which is a nice little unit. So I typically position myself where I'm going to fly. I've got the software that I run up here. I'll try to boot some of that, see if you can see it. Yeah, okay, so I'll get this up and running. Let's see. Okay, got it. Okay, Google, go away. Really having a tough time setting up all this, linking all these accounts to everything. It's just really mind-boggling to me. I hate all of this stuff. Just give me a button to push and let me go. Southwest. All right, so this is gonna be fun. Let me get out of here. All right, we're gonna blow all of that off for now. We need to get into that. I need to reset it before we go. No idea why this says lost connection, because I've got gig speed wired internet here, so typical Microsoft. Departure, let's go Las Vegas. Unbelievable. All right, we're just gonna pick 20. All right, hopefully it'll finish booting. It got to this point last time and just dumped me out. All right, so Beta Bravo lights just connected. I will start SPAD as soon as but this is typically every day I fly. This is what it takes. Sometimes I gotta launch this thing 2-3 times before it finally decides that it's ready to play fair. So the fact that I'm recording all of this and posting it will be good. You get to see in true to form what it's like every time you fly. Okay, looks like we got that. Don't need GSX. Why is GSX even coming up? I didn't do anything. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is come out to here, and I'm going to launch Pop Out Panel Manager down here on my utility screen. All right. You can kind of see it. It's not really important to see the details of it. It's just what's happening. So I've got it all set up to where it's grabbing all the key screens off of the 737 and it's positioning them all here on my hardware the way I want it. And once that goes away, then we'll be good. All right, then the next thing I do, because I got to have everything ready. So when I start, so let's launch SPAD, and SPAD will come up. And it's up over here on the top. You can see it launching, so we'll put it right there, at least you can see that. And again, this is, for some reason, it's taken a lot longer to get up and running. It's probably another 30 seconds longer than it used to take. Not really sure what's going on there. But I've got all of my panel pretty much mapped through it, so I want to get it going first. All right, I'm going to go ahead and launch CL to Sim to get the Brunner awake. And this has a display on it, so it will tell me, it'll say 737, PMDG 737 or Boeing 737, that way I know it's connected. It's also up here on the top. Come on. That's it right there launching. Okay, so SPAD is up and running. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my cockpit bridge working. That's good. It should, okay, so it goes dark. It goes dark once the cockpit bridge is enabled. So now I just have to hit the battery and then it comes to life. So ground services, chocks are set. I'm gonna request ground power. And as soon as that says okay, then I'm gonna flip the ground power on and everything will come to life. You can kind of see some of that. All right, connecting. Okay, so now we have ground power. So you can see now we're up on the top. All right, so we'll get, it's probably as good a shot as any. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through, I've got the battery on, I'm gonna put my IRS in alignment, do the emergency exit lights, turn my lights on there on the panel. Ground is connected, and then I'll go through my flows and so forth next. Now over here on the side panel, I've got my CL to Sims working. I've got B737-700 NGX on there, so that's working. I know I'm connected. And then I'm going to launch FS UIPC 7. That's good. And then I will launch my 737 ACARS software. All right, so that's up and running. So let's see, going upstairs, so let's go ahead and put this in nav mode. And that's moving along. I've got a switch here for my ground power and APU, so that's going. Now I know there's some difference in opinions on how this works. Southwest is big on their electrics, their hydraulic pumps, A's off, B's on. So that's how I run those. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. Yaw damper is on. Flight controls, that's all set up. Spoilers, standby, that's good. Navigation are all in normal switch mode. Fuel, I'll put my A's on, so they're good. I've got position, put my anti-collision on so I can fire up the APUs. And we got seat belts, that's good there. Window heat on, put my dome lights on so I can see what's going on. And I think we're gonna be okay on the, okay, 6 minutes to go on that. So we're pretty much set there. So this is typically, you can see what I did on this extra, or this GTN 750. I have my CDU for the first officer connected there. So I don't know if you can see that in the overhead very well. You can kind of see it up there, I think. No, not too much. I don't know if you can really see that. Yeah, you can kind of see it over there. All right, so if I hit this, yeah, see it changes that. So I've got this all mapped so where all of my function keys, or all of these soft keys on the PFD, that's line select keys 1 through 6 left and right on this side of it. So I can control everything there. I've got menu here, so I can do menu, go to processes, there's menu, FMC, do departure, whatever, but I've got to get past the initial setup first. But anyway, so that acts as my secondary or first officer CDU, so that's pretty cool. All right, so here we need to enter nav position, so we're going to go down, we're going to pick the left, go back page up, select it into here, and we're good. And we're at KLAS. That's our current airport. That's good. We'll go route, plan, up, look at that. Put that in the originating airport request. And I've got some files here. I'll just pick one for now. We'll do Ontario, Las Vegas to Ontario, select, request. Ontario, select, request flight plan. Okay, so while the IRS is completing its setup, I can do some preliminary work on the CDU. So you can kind of see now, I think, maybe why part of why I'm wanting to switch and get a full cockpit. Yeah, they're not cheap, but, and this is nice stuff, don't get me wrong, but the amount of work that's involved in mapping all these keys to whatever aircraft you want to fly is just way more work than I want to do. I enjoy flying a tremendous amount, but I don't enjoy all the work that goes on behind the scenes. I just want to sit down and enjoy a good flight, you know, in VATSIM and have a fine day. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's, the video's long enough. If you have any other questions, and if you have any questions and you want to know a little bit more about the setup, feel free to call or leave your comments, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But I appreciate your interest, and have a good day.